Hey guys, Nick here, and we are going to talk a little bit about maintenance on your board. This is my personal board. It gets ridden a lot. I take it out every day. I ride it hard. We do a lot of demos. It's been hit against the bottom. I take it out in the surf. It's washed up on the rocks without me. It's seen a lot of action, but my board runs flawlessly because I do a couple little things to maintain it and make sure that it's good to go. So number one is making sure that you have a dry compartment on the inside. So when I ride and I open it up, everything in here is dry. I'm not getting any water inside. So you might be experiencing a little bit of water on the inside after a ride, and you know it's okay because everything's well protected in here, but it definitely breaks down the longevity of the board. So that's something that we want to correct right away, and it's really simple to take care of that. Most likely at the hatch seal here that goes around the compartment, you'll notice back by the electrical box that there's a joint where the two ends come together. And sometimes if this seal gets a little bit older, it can kind of shrink and separate. So if you have a small gap in the joint, what you want to do is use a little bit of adhesive. You know, worst case scenario, you can use a little bit of super glue and just a drop of super glue in the middle to put it in and pull those two ends together and let them cure so that they don't separate out. Don't use too much because then you'll kind of create like a hard point in that seal. But bringing those two ends together is probably the number one step that you can do to maintain a dry hatch compartment. We sent an additional seal in with every kit. There's also a video that we've made specifically about changing out your hatch seal, and it's very simple to follow, it's very simple to do. So you can check out that video if you want to just replace your hatch seal completely. I've definitely done that to my board over the time frame that I've had it. You know, as things settle or as time goes by, it might change the tension on the latches, and we can just talk about that really quick because these are adjustable and you can adjust them if need be. And really mine right now, how I have it nice and neat. So it's firm that it closes down the top, but it's not too tight that I really have to struggle to open it up. So I have it set just right. Now, if it's loose, that could be a way where plenty of water gets inside your hatch compartment, and you really want to correct that. So if it's loose, when you close it down, you'll still kind of feel some play in the top. And what you want to do is put an extra turn on your latches here. So you'll see there's two screws around the latch, and the latch itself is a threaded unit. So you'll loosen these up, and what I do is when I'm tightening those, I close it on the outside, and so the latch is 90 degrees right here. So you'll loosen up these bolts, you'll put a spin either to tighten the latch, or you'll take a spin to loosen it if it's too tight, and then you'll tighten down the two smaller nuts around it, preferably even with some Loctite. I never push my hatch top too far forward, right? This should be the maximum angle of your hatch top here. If you excessively put a lot of force on that, you can bend your hinges, and that will definitely throw off the tension that you have around the circumference of your seal. The good news is on that, if that has occurred, you can fix that too. It's kind of a rare occasion, but I have seen it. And if you do bend it from overstraining it forward, you can always bend it back with the use of, I use like a block of wood and a rubber mallet. We'll kind of put that back in the position. So those basic tips will help you keep your hatch compartment dry, which keeps salt water off of your electrical contacts and makes your board last that much longer. Talking about a few other things that are good for the maintenance of your board. We discussed this in our how-to videos, but I'm going to review this one more time. One is we have our data connector, and the data connector transfers information from the battery to your electrical box that keeps them in communication. And you'll notice that there are 8 pins on the inside, and they're sensitive data pins. So this is probably the more sensitive area of the board, and it's something that we really want to keep clean. I don't use any oils or anything on the inside here, but I do use my electrical contact cleaner to clean out these pins and keep them free of corrosion and dry. So if you look down at the base with some light in there, If you see any kind of green buildup, that's a corrosion inside your data cable, and that can eat away at your pins. And if you let that go, the pins can get eaten away completely and it'll break off in the battery, and that's bad news. So, one thing is keeping everything freshly rinsed. If you ever have salt water on the inside or you have salt water over your connectors, rinse it off with fresh water, dry everything out, use electrical contact cleaner on the data pins and even any other metal contacts if you want. Keep those, shake them out, let them dry, and keep them nice and clean. I can't express that enough. That'll make your board last a very long time. For your main power contacts at the phase pins on the electrical box and also your power connector to the battery, I, again, use fresh water to rinse it out. I shake it out. I use any kind of contact cleaner if I want to get it extra clean. And I don't even do this all the time. I just do it whenever I've had salt water on the inside, even if I've opened up the hatch. Whenever you feel it's necessary. You're not going to do it too much. From there, a little bit of the Real-X that came in your kit. You put that on the metal contacts only for your power connectors to the battery and your phase connectors. That's it. That's a simple maintenance tips to keep your contacts clean, your data connector clean. Lastly, I rarely store my board with water on the inside and the hatch closed and sealed, because that just creates a very humid environment on the inside of your board that can eat away at any metal items like your electrical contacts and your data connector inside the board. So after I rinse it with fresh water, I dry it out, and I typically store my board with the hatch compartment open so that I can air dry. And that goes a long way for maintaining your board and the longevity of your board. If you don't have that opportunity, let's say it's in a tight space, you need to store it away, just make sure that you properly dry the inside before you close your hatch compartment and seal it up to stow it away. That's about it.